and I don't celebrate July 4th or Thanksgiving Day. No, the Washington's birthday. None of those presidents' birthdays do I celebrate. No. Rupert's birthday. That's my holiday. Yeah, Rupert was born the same day my brother Oliver was born. But Oliver tried to come out backwards, dumb as he is. Still that way to this day. Well, that was many years ago, but I remember the night real well. Daddy said Mama was having trouble birthing this baby. The midwife said he better take her to the hospital in town real quick. So he loaded her up and took her on into town, and he left me to watch the kids. Well, I had 3 sisters, a little Annie and the twins. Well, Annie wasn't in trouble. I put her to bed right away, and the twins fell asleep on the couch, and I just covered them up and let them be. Then I decided I'd just go out and get some fresh air. It was a beautiful spring night. So I went outside, and I looked up at that moon, and it was shining real big, and I said, Mr. Moon, now you take care of my mama, because we need her around here. You hear me? We need her. You take care of my mama. He didn't answer back. Well, all of a sudden, I heard the terrible sound, this moo, moo. Oh, Betsy over there in the barnyard was just cutting up something terrible. Moo! And I thought to myself, well, now Betsy, you're not due. You're not due to June. Don't you go into labor now? Don't you do that? Daddy's not here. Well, Daddy's real strong, and he'd help the cows be born. But I'm just a little thing, you know, back then, and I didn't think I could do it. Well, that cow, Betsy, moo! So I run over there in the barnyard, and somebody left the barn door open. I guess it was me. Betsy was really in labor. She really was. Well, I led her into the barn, and I spread some hay out into a stall, and she just knew what to do. She went right over and she laid right down in that hay. I was worried, though. Daddy said that cows can't always birth the babies by themselves, that they gotta have help. And Daddy was strong, and like I said, I was just a tiny little thing. I didn't know how I could help that calf be born. But Betsy was sure enough going to have it, because she was going moo every time those labor pains came. I didn't know what to do, but I thought I better sit down beside her and watch and see what I could do. And those back legs come poking out of her, and I tried to grab hold of them, but they were so slippery I couldn't hang on to them. And that little calf had slid back in, and you know, if the calf doesn't come out and the cow can't birth her, they'll both die. And I knew that. My daddy, he wasn't there to help. So I went over and I got that burlap sack from the corner, and I sat down behind Betsy, and next time she went, moo, and those legs come poking out. I wrapped that burlap bag around those legs, and I held on to her real tight. I put my feet up against her rump, and I waited. And every time she went, moo, I pulled, and I pulled, and I pulled, and I pulled. That old calf landed right in my lap. It did. I took that burlap bag and I wiped off his face, and he looked up at me, and you know what? I saw the light come on in his eyes. I saw the light come on in his eyes. Yeah, I did. That little calf, he was born, and I helped. I didn't think I could do it, but I did. Well, Daddy came home a little bit later, said Mama was okay. That Oliver, he had a son now. They named him Oliver, and the reason Mama was having trouble was because the dumb dodo was coming out backwards. It's been that way ever since. Well, I told Daddy what happened, and we went out in the barn, and he looked at that little calf laying there next to his mama, He was so proud of me. He just said, honey, you did such a good job. Now, this is your baby. You just take care of me, your baby. I was so proud. I named him Rupert. Saw it in the tobacco store. It said, Rupert's Tobacco. I thought it was so distinguished. Well, Daddy said it was my baby, but he said, don't get too attached now. You know what happens when we have to take them to market. I said, I didn't want to think about that. No, I don't want to go think about that. But anyway, Rupert and I we had so much fun. All that summer and that winter. He'd follow me around to eat apples out of my hands in the back. I put him back here with the apple. He'd run around and follow me and nibble on them. And then sometimes we'd just stand by the fence. And that old moon is shining. I'd put my arm around his neck and he'd cuddle up to me. And we'd just stand there and be quiet and look at the moon. Well, that next summer was awful bad. We had an awful drought. Mama couldn't sell many vegetables on the stand by the road because it was so dry we could hardly water them. And so she didn't have much to can from the apple trees either. The pear trees were dried up. Daddy said we couldn't use too much water on the plants because the well was going to go dry. It was so dry that year. So hot and dry. So hot and dry. That night at supper, they had a real bad day. Daddy said he'd taken all the pigs he could to the market. And the hens weren't laying very good because of the dry weather. And we were looking forward to a real rough winter without any food. We had to take one of the cows, had to go to market. You only had one left. And that was Rupert. We're going to take Rupert to the market. Well, I didn't cry, not in front of my daddy. But I didn't like it too much. Next morning, Daddy loaded Rupert up into the truck, and I jumped in the back of the truck with him and put my arm around his neck. Daddy said, you shouldn't go with me. And I said, well, I want to go with Rupert. Just as long as I can, I'm going to go with Rupert. And I stood there in the back of the truck with my arm around his neck. We got to the slaughterhouse, and the man pulled Rupert down off the truck and led him into the stall. He put the gun up to his head. Rupert was looking right in my eyes when the light went off. That gun went off and his light went off in his eyes. I saw the light come on in his eyes, and I saw the light go out. Rupert's light went out. Oh, that was a long time ago. I still live here out on the farm. Mom and Daddy have gone to their reward. My sisters, they all got married and have families. They come and see me on holidays. My brother Oliver, he works down at the filling station on the corner. He comes out to the farm every so often, and he understands. Dumb as he is, coming out backwards. He understands. No, I don't celebrate Christmas, nor Washington's birthday or any of those presidents' birthdays. Nope, I don't celebrate any of those. Rupert's birthday, that's my holiday.
Wow.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hadn't done that in a couple of years, so I probably left some of it out.
Thank you.
You never eat beef again.
We have a Rupert in our family now.
Oh, do you really?
My son got married last summer, and he and his wife bought 2 new puppies. And one of them is a golden retriever poodle cross, and she always wanted to name a dog Rupert. So she's got Rupert, and they got Arlen. So Arlen was a white Labrador.
I did that for our church play one time in South Carolina, and one of the ladies got up and she was just sobbing and she said, I'm never going to eat meat again.
Cool. Very good.